is up, everyone? What's good? What's going on in the hood? And we are back, everyone, for another podcast about gaming, wrestling, and a bunch of other topics.
Yes, you're more than welcome to share any type of topic that you want to talk about in chat.
Yes, definitely drop anything you're interested in talking about in chat, as we're open to chat and discuss about anything.
Yeah, I mean almost anything.
Yeah, we do have to keep it PG-13, everyone. Like, can't do anything that's going to be TOS. So,
No swearing.
like, we can swear, but nothing is super inappropriate. So try to keep it like PG-13 with the questions.
Yep. So yeah, we need to.
And no inappropriate discussions like corn talk, because we don't need any of going on in the chat, because
yes, that's one of my favorite ones.
Yep. And for those who came by my Twitch stream last night for my anniversary, appreciate it. And it was pretty much a wake-up call to know who really truly supports me and who doesn't. So that was generally noted. So
Yep.
I've made note of those things. And yeah, we'll get to talking. Royal Rumble was actually awesome, by the way. It was awesome to see main event Jey Uso win the. Yep, definitely. Shout outs to Us and shout outs to the Anai family. Like, they've done big things for the wrestling business, especially in WWE. Like, I gotta give props, especially to Roman Reigns. He's been doing a huge thing for the company, being the face of the company, taking over the reins of when John Cena was doing it. So much props to him. And we also have to get props to Seth Rollins, because he's also a major face that's also carrying the company. And a lot of people don't see it that way, but I do, because I see, like, every time he goes in there, like, he really, really, really busts his butt every time he steps in that ring. Like, you see the intensity in his eyes that he wants to better that match every single time he steps foot in that ring. So, like, much props to Seth freaking Rollins. And as a good thing for him, I gotta do one thing for him. Yeah, so, like, shouts to him. I'm looking forward to his wife coming back soon, Becky Lynch. So that'll be awesome to see her back in the ring. It was great seeing Alexa Bliss come back. Like, that
was the
highlight
of the
that to me was the biggest highlight. Her coming out with the doll, like, that was just freaking awesome. Like, that like meant the world to me, like, seeing that. Like, and she looked like she didn't miss a step in that ring. What's up, ASD? Thank you for the raid. Appreciate that, my guy. Let me give him a shout out real quick here.
And while you're doing the crowd went pretty, like, loud on her entrance when it came out.
Yes, without a doubt. Like, they went crazy.
Wild. Like that was amazing seeing her back, and she haven't missed a step at all. She did a very phenomenal job in the Rumble.
Like, yeah, like,
Wow.
appreciate that, ASD. Like, yeah, like, that was just freaking phenomenal seeing her come out with that jacket where giving praise to Bray Wyatt. Like, I miss seeing Bray Wyatt. Like, it was very devastating when he passed away. Like, it still messes me up because we lost him, we've lost Luke Harper, and it's just it's devastating because they were at the peak of their career. Like, literally, they were really on the top during that time, and it's really sad that happened to them. Like, they lose their life at such a young age, and like, we do need to be grateful of being here on this earth because we just don't know how long we have on this earth. Like, we could be here today, gone tomorrow. So it's very important to live it up, live life to like the fullest, but also just remember to give praise to God, like, especially with everything that you have in life is because of God. It's not just because of your hard work, it's because God is allowing your hard work to pay off. So like, just remember those things. Like, and the Royal Rumble was just phenomenal. Like, I'm loving the feud between Seth and CM Punk. Like, that's a great feud going on.
That's a great match.
And honestly, like, from what I've heard to the grapevine, like, it is a real legit beef between them. It's not really staged.
They hate each other, yeah.
They really do not like each other from what I've heard from rumors and stuff, but that's their business, that's their feud, and I'm not gonna take sides on that, but I do have to say they put on a phenomenal performance in there. Like, and it was actually kind of great seeing Seth like go full on bananas even on Roman at the outside of the Rumble like that, because like, you can see the intensity in Seth's eyes. Like, he's like, I'm gonna make a bank, and he's ready to burn it back down to the ground. So I could see him in the future going back to that burn it down gimmick soon, like, because he has that fire in his eyes right now where like he's after everybody. Like, he's done playing nice, and you can just see that. And then I see a face turn here with Roman here soon, because that's probably why they made the whole injury thing where he's going to be gone, because I think they're going to do a face turn with him. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing that. It'll be interesting to see how he does a face as the tribal chief. So it'll be interesting to see that gimmick as a face, because like, he's still somewhat a heel. How's it going, Retro? Welcome in.
Hey, Retro.
And like, it's just great, like, seeing the different characters. Like, I'm one of those, I actually prefer Seth Rollins as a heel. I like him better as a heel than a face.
He's going through this.
Yeah, and I already see, I see the same thing you're seeing, Flame. I actually see him going toward being a heel. It's all right there, especially him doing the stomp to Roman's head like that on the stairs, on the steel steps like that, and then just constantly going after Punk. Even they had their match on Netflix on Raw. Like,
debut.
Yeah, like, I see the heel coming, and I love him as a heel. Like, I enjoy watching Seth as a heel. Like, there's just certain characters I like them better as heels than face. Some of them need to just stay a heel. And, like, I feel Charlotte Flair is one of those that needs to stay a heel. I like her better as a heel than a face.
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens especially. I love KO as a heel. I don't like him as a face. I like him better as a heel just because that shoe fits him better. I think just because he does that so much better than being a face. That's just my honest opinion.
I second that. Yeah.
Like I actually liked when Becky Lynch was kind of a heel when she first started the man gimmick. Like, I actually enjoyed it.
Big time Bex, yes.
Yeah, like I honestly think she should stay a heel. I think she did that so well. Like, I like that, and I hope when she comes back, it's as a heel, not a face. Another person I actually like as a heel, believe it or not, I actually enjoy Bayley as a heel. I actually thought she did a good job as a heel. Like, she nailed it, and I kind of don't want her to go back to being a face. I want her to stay a heel.
Yeah, ding dong, hello.
Yep, that's just me from what I watch. I prefer the heels. I like rooting for the heels more than the face. That's just me. Like, I've always been the type that root for the heels. So, like, when Hogan was with the NWO, I rooted for it because I like the heels. Like, I always root for the NWO. Just like when DX were heels, I like DX as the heel group. Not when they're going with the face group. I like them better as the heel. Like, I still love the iconic moment where Triple H turned on Shawn Michaels in the ring and gave him a pedigree. Like, I loved a lot of the changes in there. It is enjoyable to watch those things and see those things. Because me and Flame, we grew up during the era we got to watch some of the greatest heels of all times in there. Like, we got to watch the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. We got to see a lot of these men and women just really become really, really good at what they do. Like, I enjoyed watching the different phases of Randy Orton, John Cena, Triple H, Booker T, Stone Cold. A lot of these guys, like, went on to have remarkable careers. Like, especially Booker T, once he got to WWE after WCW folded, like, it was great seeing, like, him having his feuds with Stone Cold. I still love the iconic supermarket incident where they were in there just wrestling. I still love that day. And then I loved the whole feud between The Rock and Stone Cold where I believe it was Stone Cold that threw The Rock's title into a river. It was great. Like, it was great seeing those things. Like, and how
the were different pretty much back there.
Oh yeah, like, it's amazing to watch how much WWE has changed throughout the years. Like, and Triple H has done such a phenomenal job with how WWE is going right now. He's doing such a great job. He's doing a great job with booking, especially. I can see the difference in the crowd drawing. Especially, it's great to see Cena back performing a little bit, even though this is his final time. But I think deep down he'll be back eventually. I think what's going to end up happening is I think he'll sign like a Legends contract, kind of like how The Rock has his Legends contract, where he'll just come every once in a great while and show up. I think that's what Cena's probably going to end up doing. Personally, I think that's what, because he's always going to love WWE, and I don't think he's fully going to just call it bye-bye on that, just mainly because look, The Rock, he shows up here and there, and he does a lot. I'd love to see him back for WrestleMania, where he actually teams up with the new bloodline and just turns his back on Roman. I'd like to see that, since Roman's looking at doing a face change, so like going to being a face instead of a heel. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'd like to see The Rock come back and turn his back on him as the final boss.
Yep. So there'll be an epic match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it will be. Like, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also looking forward to like the Hall of Fame inductions as well. I'm glad that Bray Wyatt's going to be inducted. He deserves that. He's done so much, and rest in peace to Bray Wyatt. Like, that was just, it was, like I said earlier, like, it was very gut-wrenching to hear about his passing, because it wasn't that long ago when Luke Harper passed away. So like it was just, it was really painful for everyone in that locker room.
And the fans.
Yeah, the fans especially, like, because I grew up watching his dad wrestle the IRS when he was tag team partners with Ted DiBiase when they're Money Incorporated. Like, and when you watch those matches and you watch how today's WWE is, like, you could see how much it's changed. Like, from the 80s and 90s to how it is now. Like, you see the changes, you see the difference. And it has changed for the best, I do feel. But I do also feel like that it's gonna do a lot more changing now that Vince is no longer in control of it. I can see better things happening for it, and you're not gonna see too many of like I would say too many of like the drama anymore of like what's going on. I'm kind of glad like they're trying to like draw away from Vince as much as it is now.
Yeah.
They're trying to cut all that away from it, and it's gonna take time for that to happen, of course, because everyone's always gonna think of Vince. I know I am, just mainly because whether people love him or hate him, this was his baby, WWE. And without what he did, WWE wouldn't have made it as well as it did if it wasn't for him. So we still have to thank him for that, but don't praise him on the bad stuff he's done. Praise him on the good things that he's done. And also, like, all the things that's going on, like with Brock Lesnar and all that, like, I choose to just ignore a lot of those things. I just don't want to stick my nose in stuff like that, because that's business that doesn't concern me, in my opinion. And I'm not that kind of person to stick my nose in other people's business.
Yeah, you got that right.
And I'm not gonna say whether it's lies or it's the truth. Like, that's not for me to decide. That's for the court of law to decide all that. So I'll let the courts handle all that drama. And as far as like gaming and stuff, last night when I was playing, like, I was getting really mad. I was getting agitated. I was raging yesterday. Especially when I was playing Black Ops 6. There's so many raging moments. And if you guys like watching raging and you find it funny, go and watch it. Especially the part where I was raging, where this person on my team literally walks past the enemy that was standing right on the stairwell just waiting for him, where he goes to try to plant the bomb. And he misses the person right in his peripheral vision. Like, oh my goodness, that just blew my mind. Like, I was losing it. I was like literally losing my shit. Excuse my language. Like, there's so many raging moments. So like, if you love watching stuff like that, go ahead and watch it. You'll get a kick out of me getting so angry and frustrated. but like, yeah, like it was overall, like it was good. I played some rounds of Fortnite and I actually managed to be the second place person on one of the rounds for the very, very first time ever. So like, to me that was really, really cool to pull that off.
Good run was there.
Yep. Yeah. And I was playing it smart. That was the thing. Like, everyone's all trying to go around, trying to like take out everyone. And the way I do it, I just let the sheeps take each other out. I'm playing like a wolf, so it's better to be a wolf than a sheep. So like, if you're going around trying to like take each other out, go ahead, because I'm just gonna keep moving along, avoiding the storm, avoiding the conflict, just because the whole object is to survive as much as possible by any means. So like, that was the best way. That's kind of how I used to play the blood money on Warzone. And there's one time I won the match because I just ditched my team because they had no idea what the heck they were doing, so I just ditched them. Got in like a truck, driving, avoiding, and then when it was just one person left, I went and slammed right into him with the truck, took everything, and won the match.
Oh, that was a smart move, yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, it was funny. And it was, because it was so funny, I have to do one more thing. Because I thought, nope, I couldn't resist. I had to. Like, there's so many moments of certain games I played that I just want to laugh at. But we'll move along to other games. One game that crossed my mind, it's not like a game that people like can just play on Steam or whatever, but it's MKP. I was talking to Flame earlier today about MKP Chaotic.
Oh, and, man, good times.
Yeah,
good times.
And it was funny where we were talking about the whole like hard level million, and I was just
like more than a million.
Yeah, like it was insane. Like it was just like literally off the chart, and then like watching other YouTubers play like that game, like the most iconic I'd have to say was G-Star.
Oh, he's a legend.
Yeah, when he was playing it, he's like, "This game is effing awesome." Those are his words, and then all of a sudden, when he got to the fight with Night Spirits, I loved that. He's like, "Night Spirits."
And here's the thing, while he was fighting Night Spirits, the game like started like...
Yep.
He was like literally beating him, finish him,
yep.
But the fight still continued.
Yep.
And the fatality sign when coming in over and over and over. Like, this is how glitchy the game was.
Yeah. And me and Flame were talking about how it'd be nice if some of the creators of that could get together, take some time out, go through all the dev files, go through all the automations of it, and just fix everything and then re-release it. If they did that, I'd have to say that'd be the best MKP ever.
Yeah, or at least like take a character that cannot be like
Right.
with because some of the animations are not kind of finished.
Right.
From my experience. And,
Right. Exactly.
now many people don't know about it. Before I started YouTube and such, I played MKP all the way back in 2008.
Yep.
That game is the most insane game and craziest game ever. But people loved it, hated it. I mean, they loved it and they hated it.
Oh yeah, it's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, and like, but they still love to play it, man. Like, they really do.
Yeah.
Another kind of like strange game that I found, which is more crazy than characters, is that special edition game has 400 characters.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah, it does. Like, you had, like, Sub-Zero MK1, Sub-Zero MK2, Sub-Zero UMK3, Sub-Zero, like, some type of different Sub-Zero. There's, like, a Franzen Sub-Zero. There's, like, a Super Sub-Zero. Yep. Like, there's so many. And then not to mention, you had all the different scorpions. You even had Hell Scorpion. You had Red Scorpion. Like, it was just insane. Like, it was literally insane. Like, you had, like, Super Shao Kahn. You had Ultimate Raiden.
Oh, Shao Kahn Imperial.
Yep.
My goodness.
You even had Ultimate Raiden, Dark Raiden. Like, all the craziness.
His also was funny, though.
Yep.
Ultimate Raiden, like, he was like, Ultimate.
Yep. Yeah.
Dark Raiden, man. Oh, man. Dark Raiden was, like, epic.
Yep. And then so many of the different robot characters. Like, you had this one called Propagator. You had, like...
Yeah.
You had Inferno, where every time, like, he won a match, now we face Doom. So, like, it was really cool. We had, like, all these different characters.
That was from Bloodstone.
Yeah, and then, yep, and you had all these other different characters, like Sub-Reptile, where it had Reptile's moves and Sub-Zero's moves.
Yeah, think of it as a hidden character, but you have it, like, you can, like, play it,
Yep. So, like, it was hilarious. It was great. Like,
I remember playing this 12 years ago. It was insane.
Yeah, the first time I saw this game was stumbling upon a YouTuber named Zerusher playing this game, doing like a video of it. He was like some Russian YouTuber who spoke English, and then after I saw it, he disappeared. So, like, I guess the last video he did was he was talking about he had PC problems, but like after that, that was it.
Yeah, sadly,
and that happens a lot in that region of the world, you guys, because a lot of us in America, Canada, and the UK, we don't realize how good we have it, because like if we have problems with our PCs, some of us can just go get it fixed or buy a whole new one that for like a cheaper price, where a lot of those people in the Eastern European region, they don't have that luxury, unfortunately. Just going, I'm gonna get a brand new laptop. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that for them, which sucks.
I mean, it's upgrades. Yeah. That's true, actually.
Yeah, and it's real painful where you just literally want to do.
No! Yes.
Like, yeah, it's crazy. But there's a lot of other good MKPs out there. There's a lot of good games. I'm still.
Not all games are broken.
Yep. Not all MKPs are broken. MKA's game Revitalize is still a good game. Like, it's not a broken mess.
It's a good game to start, but I would recommend the base MKP first.
Yeah. As far as like the newer school Mortal Kombat games, I have yet to play the new MK1. I'm in no rush to play it as I'm just not interested in it. I'm not interested in
all those microtransactions are really annoying.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not looking to waste money on microtransactions and stuff like that. Absolutely not.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of the cameo system. As a big time Mortal Kombat fan, I'm against that cameo system. Why are those characters who are not playable in the first place? Come on now.
Yep.
So, yeah, and one person kind of had a different name, Tanya, and she turns into Jade.
Yep.
Because she had the captain and all that. So technically, we're not seeing Tanya, we're seeing Jade. Just a different character, that's it. And so she technically took Jade's role.
Yeah. I don't really care for like the storyline too much for MK1 and MK11. I just didn't like it. Honestly, to me, those are just big disappointments for me. For like story, especially the storyline, it was just a big disappointment.
MK9 has the better story.
I have to say MK9 and MKX were probably the better storylines that actually stayed within the means. Other than that, I haven't seen anything other exciting. I have yet to want to get Tekken 8. That's another game I'm in no rush to get it. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews on Tekken 8. Same thing with like.
What about Street Fighter 6?
Eventually, I want to get that one over Tekken 8 and over Mortal Kombat 1. Honestly.
Yeah, and actually, that game is pretty good. Street Fighter 6 right now.
Yeah.
I finally got a chance to see some of my gameplay footage. It's actually not bad. I kind of enjoy it.
Yeah, it looks really good from some of the YouTubers I've seen that done videos on it. So it looks great.
And to all Marvel fans, I want to bring this news up. If you're a Marvel fan, and if you're specifically like Spider-Man, not your chance, because if you're a computer player, PC player, you can get it now. If you're a Spider-Man 2. So,
yes.
So if all people are interested in playing this, I just found out earlier this week that it's out. So, yeah. And I have some good players for this game, but I haven't seen much gaming footage for it, but I mean, I'm probably gonna check some just for research sources.
Yes, definitely.
So, got a chance to play some Knights of the Round today, which is a very cool retro game today.
Oh, nice.
It's a fun game. Yep.
Nice indeed.
Yeah.
Like,
you can play as King Arthur in there.
oh, nice.
Yeah, but I didn't play as him. I played. I'm sorry, I didn't remember the other knight's name.
Now, if you get to play as King Arthur, can you play as Merlin?
No. He's got a long blonde hair, but so I need to. I should play as Arthur though, which is a big mistake on my part. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a fun game though. Yeah, you get points experiencing, and you get stronger and stronger.
Yep.
You get better armor, a better sword. Just like in another game, Kings of Dragons, which is pretty cool.
Nice, nice.
Man, imagine right now and today, when you buy a game, let's take it way back. Here's the thing though, if you buy a game, right, and there's no microtransactions whatsoever, well, in new games you get those microtransactions, which is absolutely annoying.
Right.
I don't know how you feel about that, but back then was more easier. You just get the game, put it on your console or PlayStation, whatever system you're using, without waiting for updates and no that type of stuff. You
right.
Just enjoy it. That was a great time.
Oh yes, definitely.
So yeah. What do you think? What do you think that the video gamers had it better back then?
It's hard to say because you gotta remember there are different decades. So like, for some of us that grew up with like the original like Nintendo, Atari, and like the Master System, you gotta remember for back then that was high technology. Where for this newer generation, that's like old, outdated technology. So like, you can't really say if it was better or wasn't because those are completely different times. And I just feel like, for me, like growing up with like the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, the Master System, playing those. Like for me during that time, that was high technology, and it's not like it is today where all these other things like the PC, the PS5, the new Xbox, they all are higher technology where they're almost close to being like a computer, but they're never gonna reach that quality to outdo a PC. All of you console gamers, you can say that all you want, saying all consoles are no, because what you can play on the console can also be played on PC. There's certain games, yeah, they're not on PC, they're on console because they're console exclusive. But over a period of time, that console exclusive game is gonna end up on PC. Like, look at God of War. Was strictly a PlayStation exclusive. Now there's a God of War game on Steam that you can get to play on PC. So like that just shows you that eventually over time a lot of those games are gonna end up on PC. So like realistically, consoles have a ways to go to even catch up to PC. That's just bluntly honesty there.
I mean, if people enjoy consoles, we're not judging. Just let chat know that we don't judge.
Because I can make a statement just because I've been on both. I've played on console and I've played on PC, and I noticed a huge difference in performance on a PC versus a console. And the performance on a PC outdoes a console every single time.
Yeah.
It does every single time.
Oh yeah.
And like, And you can use a controller for PC too, y'all. Like, don't think you can't. You can.
Yeah, you can get a controller and just
Yep, you can plug in. You can plug in your Xbox controller to PC. You can plug in your PS5 controller into PC and use that to game on the PC.
And you get a discounted experience.
Yep.
When you put a controller, you know.
Yep.
But like I said, we don't judge. If people like consoles, they like consoles. Okay, we're not. It's just an opinion, so we're not judging. Okay, we have to be on the floor with chat. Because I know that some of them probably will jump in and say, hey, well, you know, we don't judge.
Exactly.
Everybody has their own way. Everybody has their own way to play their games that they like the way to be played.
Yeah.
And overall, hey, if you have a favorite game, enjoy it how you want it to be played.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter console or PC. You know, if you have a favorite game, then enjoy how whatever you can.
Exactly.
See, if you have fun, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what system it is. People like this, let it go ahead. So yeah.
And on another note, back to like a WWE thing, like there's quite a few people actually got released. And I know Sonya Deville got released.
Cedric Alexander.
Yep.
Authors of Pain. Paul Ellering.
Yep.
Sorry, his name. Paul Ellering.
Paul Ellering. Yeah, he. Yes. And if for those of you who grew up in the 80s and 90s watching the Legion of Doom, Paul Ellering was their manager, and yes, he's still around. For those of you who don't know who Paul Ellering is, he's been in the business for a very long time as a manager. And he managed the Legion of Doom for many years when they were in WWE, when it was WWF. So, like, everyone knows Paul Ellering from that.
And you got the new generation. He managed a team called the Authors of Pain.
Yep.
Around 2016 to 15 to 16, I think it was. He managed a team in NXT.
Yep.
And then, yes, so.
Yep.
Besides the Doom, that's actually the other team.
Yeah. I think what it is WWE couldn't come up with some creativity for them. And the thing is, the Authors of Pain reminded me too much of how the Barbarian and the Warlord were tag team partners, and also reminded me too much of them being almost similar to Bradshaw and Farouk when they did the APA. So like, and that's kind of how I felt like, and that's kind of the reason why also I'm not surprised they got cut and released, cause like they just don't know what to do with it, and that happens to a lot of these men and women that WWE cuts. It's a lot of times it's the creative difference, or they just don't know what to do with them, and then that's why they release them. And like I didn't really see much good of a storyline with Sonya Deville, and that's why I'm honestly not surprised she got released.
We got to see her for one last time at the Royal Rumble.
Yep.
That's actually the concept of that show, the one with the other two members of the show was a good concept, but that, you know, they should do a feud between, Sonya and, the other two women that she went team with. do a little short problem with damage control.
Yeah.
That's a little starting point, but you know. And yes, I know who they are. I know it's Shayna Baszler is the one, and yes, one of them was Shayna Baszler, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, Zoe Stark. There you go. So like, hey, because I'm saying it's because hey, they say you forgot the other two members that China was tag team with. I remember them.
Right.
You know, they could do this feud between those two groups. You know, just to be honest, have them get a little TV time.
Right.
Because they were planning to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But Cora got injured.
Yeah.
Or Kyrie wasn't first. And they were only, and then after that, Dakota got injured.
Yeah, quite a few people right now are injured on the roster, on the main roster, and a lot of it was from past pay-per-views. I know Bronson Reed's still out with his injury. He's still recovering from that injury and the surgery he had on that injury. And I hope a speedy recovery for him because he was really starting to blow up. So, like, I hope for him to have a speedy recovery, and I can't wait to see him back. I can't wait to see Tonga Loa come back, too, because he's out with an injury as well.
Yeah, they both got injured from War Games.
Yeah. And Jimmy is on TV here and there because he's still recovering from his injury he sustained during the pay-per-view as well, because I think he broke his toe after he did that one jump.
He's kind of coming back.
Yeah.
And they were on regular TV.
Yep.
And we got to see the what was that team that came out? Street Profits. There you go. They came back.
Yep.
And we got to see, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see DIY versus them.
Right.
And actually, I'm pretty excited for the Motor City Machine Guns finally signing with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That's a team to look out for. They've been through TNA, you know, New Japan,
Yep.
and all these big time wrestling companies, and finally we got to see them in WWE.
Yeah, and I'm loving this whole like TNA and WWE working together. I love seeing that. Like, it's awesome seeing that. You're seeing a lot of great cross matches going on, which is really, really great.
Yes, you can take any type of dream match with these companies.
Yeah, and I'm loving seeing that.
Yep. And we may see Dolph coming to NXT, or you know, do a little program with one of the NXT stars, or vice versa. Someone popular.
We may see him back at one point. I kind of wish WWE didn't release Dolph because he's always been loyal and always showed up. And he's never been the greedy type. He's always been the type who is always willing to put somebody over. So like that's kind of the reason why I hope to see him back eventually. And it was great seeing Cena give props to Jay in the ring after like the Royal Rumble win. Like, that was really great seeing that, because like it was like literally the passing of the torch.
Yeah, we literally saw that, you know, sportsmanship after the Rumble.
And that's one thing I've always liked about Cena. Like, he's always been willing to put somebody over. And I liked how he put Jay over like that, because like it shows his character, shows his true intentions, because you can see how much he's grown up, how much he's matured from the ruthless aggression era. where like he was very about himself, wasn't trying to make friends, and I understand where he is coming from on that, because that business during that time was very, very cutthroat, because back then, like, they weren't making the money like some of these superstars are today. Some of the superstars today even still struggle. Some of them still don't have that kind of money to like just do whatever they want to do. And like that's the reason why a lot of people don't realize like the bare minimum a WWE superstar makes is like 250,000 a year. Like, and when you think about it, even after like taxes and everything taken out of it, it's still really not that much, because they got to pay their attorneys, not to mention all the hotels and air travel and renting cars. Like, they're still left with not a lot of money in their pocket, because they're always on the road, they're always working, and like that's the reason why like some of them have to work even harder than certain other superstars do. So like that's the reason why you have to respect like Roman Reigns, because he actually worked hard to get to where he's at. It may not seem like he did, but he did. He busted his ass off just to get to where he's at. Same with Cena, same with everyone that's been a face of WWE. They've busted their butt off constantly just to get to where they're at. And it is true what they say, hard work does pay off. It really does. And it doesn't matter what job you do in life. Like, the harder you work, the more it's going to pay off in the long run. The more you're eventually going to get those pay raises. You're going to get those promotions. So, like, you really got to keep a good positive work ethic. Keep working hard. And don't let too many things get to you, because you got to learn to ignore things sometimes for the best, to better yourself. Don't always believe and listen in the hype, because sometimes it's BS, and don't always believe all the rumors either. Some rumors are true and some aren't, so that's why you really have to pick and choose what rumors you listen to, because like some of those aren't always
also
true.
Some are fake, so
Yeah.
And they're everywhere.
Yes, they are.
You know, especially source.
Yep, exactly.
And many people believe those source. You have to be checked. You have to see from which source that came from. And it's very important to know when this thing came from, because you can make any type of rumor that you want. Because listen, man, we live in a social media era.
Yes.
Where people can jump fake information all the time. You know, back then it was not like that. I mean, there was all those, the papers used to do that back then, and now they.
Yep. With social media, it's making it hard for even not just that stuff, but relationships in general have become so toxic, to the point where like there's more and more single people now because of social media, and people feeding into social media. Like, honestly, I feel like people should spend more time going to the gym than what's going on in social media. That's just how I feel about it. Instead of people going, why am I always single? How about just go to the gym? Like, who cares whether you're single or you're taken? Just like go to the gym, exercise, or go for a walk outside. Focus on eating healthy. Quit eating junk crap. Quit like constantly ordering out. Like, there's so much far better things you can do instead of wasting time on social media, in my honest opinion. Like, I'm slowly starting to just get away from social media. Like, eventually, I'm probably gonna delete Instagram. I'm probably gonna delete Facebook and all that stuff, because there's just far more better things to do than waste time and energy on social media listening to all the negativity of not just like relationship things, but like all the lies. Like, I see so many lies that go out there on everything, like whether it's celebrities or athletes or whatever, like it is, like it's become too much. And like, I just feel like as a society we need to just get away from social media. And with the whole like blame game with relationships going, oh, I don't want to date this kind of man, or I don't want to date this kind of woman. Like, both sides honestly need to make a little bond and come to a conclusion of
what they want to do.
Things, let me just reword it. Things aren't always going to go the way you want it. Life doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. If you want life to work that way, you're mistaken, and it's time for you to actually grow up and wake up, because it doesn't work like that. Relationships only work if there is communication. Men, women, both of you do not read minds. So, for some of you ladies on TikTok complaining about why can't I find a good man, how about take a look at yourself in the mirror and do self-care and figure out what is it that you need to work on to get a man to want to be with you. And vice versa for the man. Take a good look at yourself in the mirror and figure out what do you think you can do to better yourself and give you self-care. You should not care about social media. Social media is not going to do you any good. It's going to keep poisoning your mind, keep feeding it with pipe dreams. Things that are not going to benefit you in the long run. They never will. Social media, this is the thing the government wants. They want to program you to think like this. They want you to program yourself to always go on social media and act a fool. That's all government programming. They're trying to get you to, oh, keep going to school, oh, keep going to college, oh, keep working a 9 to 5 and this and that. They're all trying to program you to think like that. And yeah, it's nice to sit and stream and play video games, but also think about your health. That should be top priority over streaming, over playing video games, over being a influencer, sharing every single part of your life with everybody. Like, go to the gym, exercise, do proper dieting, do proper self-care. Because without self-care, you're not going to be healthy. Yeah, you got to live healthy. Even if it means you go out for a walk every day. Go for like a walk around your neighborhood. Even just walk around like 4 to 6 times around your neighborhood. That's better than not doing any kind of exercise at all. If walking's too hard for you, then find other ways to exercise. Like, do like squats, or do like push-ups or crunches or sit-ups, like something that can actually help you later on down the road, like to live a healthier life. Because The more you sit and do absolutely nothing, you're actually destroying your soul. You're actually feeding it the negative energy where a lot of, especially men, as we get older, if you're not exercising enough, you're not staying healthy, you're not eating healthy, your testosterone levels are always going to be at an all-time low. And on top of that, your sex drive, if you're really wanting to be sexually active, is going to be at an all-time low because you're not exercising and eating healthy, not trying to take care of yourself. And it's very important to do these things, especially as a man. Women too. It's very important, ladies, to exercise and work out too, because without exercise, proper dieting, you're actually destroying your soul. Your soul feeds off of positivity. Your soul is always going to stay healthy when you exercise, when you eat right. Because the more you eat terrible, the more you don't exercise, you're always going to be in a state of depression. You're always going to be having anxiety. You're always going to be feeling low all the time and not doing proper self-care because your spirit is shutting down on you because you're not taking care of yourself by doing these things. So that's why it's so important to eat healthy, to go to the gym, exercise, or even go for a walk or pick up a new hobby, like go hiking, go to REI and do the wall climbing stuff. Like find something that's gonna get you motivated to take better care of yourself, because if you don't deposit enough positive energy to your spiritual body, your soul, you're not going to have good vibes. You're always going to shut down on everything. And then on top of that, you're going to start creating a shield where it goes up, where people are not going to want to be around you because you're pushing them away because you're so stuck on the negative things. So it's important to exercise to relieve your stress, to do all that. Stay away from adult content like adult movies, stuff like porn, stuff that's on websites like that, or like all that type of stuff. Like stay away from it because it actually destroys your soul. It does. It makes you always feel worthless. Yeah, you may have got that a minute to 20 minutes of pleasure of saying hello to your right or left hand, and then afterwards when you're done, you feel very, very empty inside. You feel depressed. You feel worthless. And I know from speaking on personal experience how much that destroys your soul. Like, it's a hard battle to fight. I've been fighting that for a very, very long time. I still fight it. Like, because all the temptations. You got all these people doing these things. And women, like, please, like, do something better with your life instead of doing OF or doing provocative pictures just to make money. Because in the long run, over a period of time, as you get older, you're going to feel empty inside. You're going to feel worthless because you wasted all that time and energy doing that when you could have put in that time and energy to do something more positive to benefit you in the long run. Same thing with men. Like, there's some men who do the same things as women too, that do OF, or they do all these things, eventually over time, you're going to feel the same way. Stay away from that. It does not benefit you. And that's not what God wants you to do. Like, God wants you to be a better version of yourself. That means stay away from doing adult things like making porn activity and stuff like that. All that type of content. Like, that stuff is just poison. It's toxic. It destroys your soul and it messes with your psyche. It messes with your psychological thinking to the point where, like, you're always going to come off as awkward. You're always going to come off as the weirdo. And stay away from those things. Like, take my advice. Like, for some of you younger adults that are tuning in and watching this, like, don't get peer pressured into these things. Stay away from it. Don't think about those things. Think about better things, like what you want to do with your future. Think about those things. And don't worry about or thinking about getting laid because your friends are doing it. You don't need to do every single thing your friends do. Remember that. Like, there's so much more better things you can do with your life than following everything your friends do. Because real friends will not peer pressure you. So, oh, you should go sleep with this woman. Or ladies, don't listen to your friends saying, oh, you can do better and find better. If you know deep down you love that man, don't let your single friends ruin your relationship. Especially if you love that man. Don't let them feed into your mind saying, oh, you can do better, and then you
or you deserve better.
Don't buy into a lot of those things, because some of those type of single women, your single friends that are doing that, is because they are jealous of you. Because they want what you have. So don't feed into all of it. There may be some women, yeah, they may be telling you the truth. If that man is mistreating you and they see that and they tell you you need it, then yes, you should listen to that. But if that man is going the extra mile to make you happy, to do whatever he can to put a smile on your face, those are the men you want to keep. Don't feed into your single friends that want what you have, because trust me, they don't have your best interest at heart, ladies. They don't. They actually want to bring you down. They want to burn you down to the ground, because they want what you have. So don't let some of your single friends that are toxic like that manipulate your mind saying, oh, you can do better. If you know deep down you love that man and he's been nothing but good to you, and you see he's put in all that work and effort, do not break up with that guy. Because I promise you, you are going to regret it. You're going to feel guilty about it later on, because I've seen it happen time and time again. And when they've broken up with that man has already moved on, because he's not going to settle for being second best. He's not going to settle for being option number 2. He's going to move on to the next woman that's going to treat him as option number 1. Always. So, just be smart. And same with you men. Like, I don't want to just attack women on that. There are some men that do the same exact things. They listen to some of their single men friends that are toxic as well, trying to bring them out. Oh, you should go sleep with this other woman. Your girl won't know. Don't feed into that. Don't listen to that, especially if that woman has made an effort to be in your life and actually loves you and actually puts 100% into the relationship just as much as you do. Do not listen to your single friend that says, oh, I won't say nothing, go and do it, because that is a snake. The moment you do that, I promise you, he'll be on his phone texting your girl and saying, oh, I saw him do this. So use this. Be smart. Don't fall into that crap. Like, there's like, this is why I don't have a lot of friends. I don't want a lot of friends because of all the toxicness that goes on in the world. Like, this is why it's very important to limit your inner circle. The more friends you have, the more problems there are actually going to manifest in that. Because I guarantee, let's say you have 10 friends. I promise you, 3 to 4 of those friends of yours out of that group of 10 are going to be very toxic and tell you things. Oh, go and do this. She'll never find out. Those are the ones you want to eliminate from your circle, because I promise you, they're going to be the ones that text your girl, and they're going to try to swoop in and take her from you. And women, same thing with your single lady friends that are saying you can do better, and you know deep down you love that man you're with and he's been putting the effort. Don't feed into that. Trust me. The second you feed into it, same principle. She's going to be the one to sneak in and try to take that man from you, because they already did their job of making you think you can do better, because they're jealous of you, because they want the man you have. So be smart about it. Don't be beetle-headed. Use the brain that God gave you. Don't listen to a lot of the manipulation of friends, because if it's a real friend, they're not going to feed your mind with that crap. And if they see that you have a good man, they would tell you, no, you shouldn't break up with him. You should stick with him because he's been good to you. And same thing with guys. Like, when you're with that woman who's put in the same effort as you have, don't be an idiot and ruin it by listening to your single male friends that don't really truly care about you, because they don't. They really don't. And remember, friends come and go. Especially as you get older, you'll be lucky if you could count even one person on your hand that's a friend. I'll tell you that right now. To me,
no, that's true.
To me, like, there is really no friends, because I've seen the short end of that stick of being stabbed in the back so many times, where, like, I thought someone was my best friend and I was dating this woman, and I thought that woman loved me. She ended up sleeping with him, and that's what made me realize, all right, I'm done. Like, after that, I said I was never gonna feel sorry for myself, and I was never gonna talk to anyone or be friends with anyone. And it made me have such a strong shield to the point where I've actually had many opportunities to be with women, but I let that shield get in my way to the point where I was starting to think so negative, so little of myself, to the point where I thought, oh, women don't like me just because of this. No. There's women that do like me. It's because I let that shield get in my way and clouded my judgment. And don't develop a shield. If you've been cheated on, yes, it hurts, but don't make a shield to the point where you start rejecting chances, because I promise you there is someone out there for you. Anyone who's gone through being cheated on, there's someone out there for you. God will give that person to you. You just need to open up and change yourself and just get over it the proper way. Don't feed into all these cheating videos that you see on YouTube. Start ignoring those. Don't watch those, because it's going to keep making you want to have that shield up. And it's going to make you comment on those things like, I'm guilty of doing that, and that's why I'm not even watching that stuff anymore, because I'm staying away from it, because it's gonna destroy you as a person. It is, to the point where you're always gonna be alone. So be smart and limit who you allow in your inner circle. And if you're still a virgin, savor that. Don't go around sleeping around, especially women and men. If you both are virgin, savor it. Enjoy it. Wait until you find that right one and you're actually getting married. Save it for that. You do not need to fall into the typical propaganda of what everyone else is doing.
Yes,
and
that's true.
Women who are virgins, don't sell your virginity. That is just stupid. That is just the stupidest thing you can do, because now you're breaking the seal that God gave you. Like, don't do that. Because later on, yeah, you may be happy because now you're a millionaire off of selling your virginity, but over a period of time, you're gonna start falling into a deep, dark depression where you're gonna feel empty, feel worthless. Same thing with the men, because there are some men that are probably doing the same thing. Don't do that. Trust me. Don't give yourself so easily to anybody. Men and women, savor your virginity. Do not give it to just anybody, because do it when you really, really, truly love somebody, because it's going to mean more in that relationship with that partner you're with. So just savor it. Trust me.
Yes.
It can wait, because think of all the consequences that can happen. Pregnancy, STIs. Like, don't go sleeping around, because you're either going to catch an STI if you're very heavily active in sleeping around, or you're going to get a woman pregnant. Or the women, if you don't want to get pregnant, just keep your legs closed. Trust me. It's not worth it. That whole night of having that one night stand, yeah, it's going to feel good, this and that, but over a period of time, you're going to go right back to square one. And where you're going to start thinking, oh, who's the next one I can try? Don't. Just wait.
Yeah, bad decisions.
Better to wait until you get married to the right one. And it has nothing to do with religion and this and that. Just save yourself for the person that you truly love. Because in the long run, I promise you, if you lose it to the person you truly love, you're gonna have a deeper connection. You're always gonna know that that person's never gonna turn their back on you. But don't fall into temptation. And for those of you who do cheating and like to cheat, just remember, it is not a mistake. You chose to do that. It is not a mistake. There is no mistake. Mistake is you did a typo on a message. A mistake is you spilt water. A mistake is you belched at the dinner table. A mistake is you passed gas while walking by somebody. Those are mistakes. Cheating is a choice, not a mistake. So do not use the, oh, it was a mistake. Oh, there was no connection. I don't feel that way about that person like I do you. No. Those are excuses. They're not mistakes. They're excuses. There's a huge difference. So, if you really, really, truly loved someone, you wouldn't even think about cheating on them, period. It doesn't matter if you're being coerced into it. If you fall through with it, that's not a mistake, that's a choice. So, especially if you're married, if things are not working out, it is both spouses' responsibility to communicate and say, I'm not happy. We need to talk and figure what we can do to re-strengthen this marriage or strengthen this relationship, even if it means seeking out couples counseling. It's better to do that before even thinking about an affair or breaking up. If you know that it's not working, then break up or get a divorce, because cheating is never the answer, because it's always going to result in a negative domino effect. So just be honest with each other, communicate, because without communication, there is no trust, there is no honesty, there is no loyalty without communication. Communication is what strengthens relationships and marriages. Point blank. Without communication, there's none of the other following. There's no trust, there's no honesty, there's no loyalty. Without communication, there is no connection. Communication what creates trust, connection, honesty, and loyalty, and respect. Communication equals all those things. Without the communication, there's none of those things.
Cannot say it better myself.
And there's nothing wrong with being single either. If you're one of those people that feels, oh, I need to be in a relationship, I can't go a long time being single, that right there is something that you need to work on mentally, where you actually need to speak with a professional, because if you're thinking like that, there's something seriously wrong with your mental psyche, because sometimes it's better to be single and wait for the right person to come along than always trying to hop right away and find the next relationship. That's actually really toxic to your mental health, and it's really toxic to your spiritual health as well. So if you got out of a long-term relationship, give yourself a lot of time to heal and move on, because if you don't heal 100% and you just jump right away, where it's called a rebound relationship, that relationship's actually going to end very, very catastrophic, and both sides are going to feel really, really, really depressed, and there's definitely not going to be any trust in that relationship, because either side's going to feel like it's a rebound relationship. It's not a real relationship, because you're always going to think about your ex. You're always going to bring the ex up. So give time to heal. And
So yeah, don't do bad stuff, because bad decisions leads to worse consequences afterwards.
Yep.
So
And remember, there's a consequence to everything you do in life, whether it's positive or negative. There's always a consequence.
yep.
Remember that. And for everyone, like, especially men telling other men, oh, the women are just too needy of having high demands here in this country, so I want to find a woman out in the East, like in Asia or Eastern Europe. I'm going to be bluntly honest with y'all. They're slowly starting to become the same way as here. It doesn't matter what country now. They're all starting to become that way.
Because they've been influenced
Yep,
by
they've
that,
already been influenced.
by the westernizing thing going on, if I
Yes.
said correctly.
Yes. So, don't think it's not happening there. It's already happening. It's already becoming a domino effect there.
It's happening everywhere now.
Yep. It's happening all over the world. There's no, oh, you just need to go to this country and find. No, it doesn't matter anymore. And
Nope, it doesn't.
I can understand both sides of that spectrum. So I can understand some of the women's demands, but I can also understand the man's demands. So as a society, both sides, we need to come to a better mutual understanding, a better common ground. And both sides, we all need to work on lowering our standards a bit. We do. Like, we both are so much alike in a lot of ways, personality wise, and there's a lot of it that's different. Like, I get where some of the women are coming from. You want stability financially, but you gotta remember also, there's men that want the same thing from a woman too, though. It's a 50-50 thing now. There is no more, it's outdated thing where the man's gonna do everything. That's outdated. No man's gonna do that anymore. They're not gonna sacrifice their mental health. They're not gonna sacrifice their emotional health to give you everything anymore. I'm sorry. That day is over with, ladies. It's your turn to actually come meet halfway with the man now. It's a 50-50 thing now. There's no more the man doing 100% everything. That's the time during our grandfathers, great grandfathers busting their back to be left with nothing. No. We're not, us men today are not doing that anymore.
Nope.
We expect you to be just as independent as us now, where you need to chip in and and the man needs to chip in. There's no more the man does 100% everything anymore. If you want that, then you're gonna need to travel back in time, back to the 1940s and 50s to get that, because it's not gonna happen now. So
Yes.
if you want financial stability, you're both gonna have to work for that together as a couple, if that's what you really want. And for those women aiming too high for that 1% man who has millions and millions of dollars, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're looking for out of your league. I'm just gonna be bluntly honest with you. That man is gonna be completely out of your league, because he's gonna want to know what you bring to the table. He's gonna want to know what you bring to the table. And if you're that woman that says, oh, I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do this, I don't do that, you know what? You are now out of his league, because he's not going to want you if you can't at least help with cooking or help with him cleaning.
Or cleaning.
Especially if you're expecting him to work and provide you a lifestyle that you want, you're going to have to learn how to cook and do some of those things to keep the house in order. If he's paying all the bills, or if he's doing all that. If you want to be that stay-at-home wife, you're going to have to do those things. If you don't want to do those things, then prepare for a miserable life of singleness, because that's what's going to end up happening to you. You're going to be the woman that gets passed around at the parties, used as a side piece, because no man's going to settle for you because you have too high of expectations. Same thing with the guys. If you're looking for that 1% of women that are multi-millionaires that you're thinking is going to be your sugar mama, same principle for you. That woman is now out of your league. And you need to meet halfway. And with looks, here's another thing. Both sides have too high expectation when it comes to looks. Is it important to look decent and look in shape and go to the gym? Yes, that is important, but at the same time, you gotta remember, if you're attracted to someone and that person's slightly overweight and you want them to lose a little weight, you could actually, if you're the type that goes to the gym, you could actually motivate that person that you're dating to go with you to the gym, where you both can work out together and meet that common goal where you stay attracted to each other. That's something to look at. Trust me, I know. Like, when I lived in Vegas, I was working at a casino, y'all, and there's this one regular I used to talk to all the time. He's very overweight. He weighed, I'd say, roughly a little over 400 pounds, but he was a good person. He had a good heart, and he was a multi-millionaire. He introduced me to his wife, who was very attractive, almost like a supermodel type. Very attractive.
Oh, wow.
Really a sweet woman. Actually really cared about him as a person. Actually loved him and didn't care what he looked like. And wasn't with him for his money. She genuinely loved him, and there's so many men that were trying to get her, and she's like, no, I'm happily married. And it's amazing that the connection they have, and it doesn't matter that he was overweight. The whole point is, he offered loyalty, what she was looking for. He was loyal. He was honest. He always communicated with her. And now they've been married for a very long time. Like, before I moved, the last time I talked to him was like the very last day I worked at the Orleans, and they were happy. They were actually planning to celebrate like their 10-year anniversary. And like, I was just like, that was awesome. They were gonna go to Cabo or somewhere to celebrate it. So like, that's the reason why I say be more open-minded, y'all, because there's more to relationship than looks. It's important to see what's on the inside, not out, because you gotta remember, looks can be deceiving. So that most handsome guy or that most beautiful woman could have a very ugly inside, where their personality is just so ugly to the point where you see nothing but wickedness. Those are the people you need to stay away from, because even the most attractive person in the world could probably be the most wickedest, vile person on the planet. So be more mindful of that. Be more open to talking to someone that isn't skinny or who isn't average or who isn't super attractive, like has a six pack abs or whatever. Be more open, because that person could have a really good heart, have a good soul all the way to the core, where they will support you and you could support them, where you get a closer connection, which is more meaningful than looks. Because looks sometimes, like I said, are very deceiving. And like if you're the type that's loves to go to the gym and you're dating someone that's not superly attractive but you really like them, you can motivate them to go to the gym with you. Go work out. Do that as a couple. Like you might see the difference, like literally. So like just be more mindful of that. Like be open to that. Like I've even learned to lower my standards. Like before I would never talk to overweight women. I wouldn't even think or bat an eye. Now that I'm getting older, I'm being more open. I'm being more realistic about it. I'm willing to give that a chance, just because that woman could be looking for that partner that might motivate them to work out with them. So just be open, like because because like you don't know what you're missing sometimes. Like they could be giving you that affection that you were craving for all these years. So just be more open about those things, y'all. And don't be picky about looks, because that should be secondary. The most important thing should be the personality and what's on the inside. And yeah, I understand finances are important, yeah. But at the same time, that's something that can be tackled as a together thing. Not one has to do the full thing. No. It has to be met halfway. That's the only way it's going to succeed, that relationship or that marriage, is meeting halfway. And if you're the type that doesn't want to have kids, then that's fine. But it's still the same thing. You have to be meeting halfway on something to make it financially stable. Because it's not going to just be the man doing everything anymore. That time has already passed, and that's old programming. So just remember that. That's all I have to say about that.
A relationship is a two-way street, not one.
Yep, it is. It's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street.
Some people forget that. Yep. Then it needs to be reminded.
And relationships and marriages are always going to have ups and downs. Nothing's going to be perfect every single day. There will be arguments. But it's okay to have arguments sometimes, because it's healthy for the relationship. But if it's arguments where it's every day, then you're going to have to relook and rethink that relationship. Or if it's a marriage and you're arguing like cats and dogs every single day, then it's time to seek marriage counseling before it gets too bad. Like to the point where infidelity is going to happen. So it's better to start doing that right away. Don't wait until it's past the point where one of you is already talking to somebody else and trying to sneak. As soon as you're realizing you both are arguing constantly every single day, it's time to seek marriage counseling to fix it. So that way it can get fixed. If you go counseling and they see that it's just not working, then it would be time to file for divorce. And just come to an agreement on who gets what, and just wash your hands with it. But try not to divorce, try to seek marriage counseling if you're constantly arguing every single day, because that may help solve whatever problem it is that's going on with the relationship. Because infidelity is never the answer, and that's going to both the men and the women. Infidelity is never the answer when you're married, because you both took vows, and it's important to honor those vows. And if you're arguing, like I said, every single, go seek a marriage counselor, please, because especially if you've been married for more than 5 years, go see a counselor to save that marriage, because trust me, it may strengthen that marriage better. And then, like, if both of you are like sexually frustrated about each other's sex life, go see a sex therapist. Like, there are some out there that will help you reconnect to spice something up in the marriage. But don't, by any means, don't go and do infidelity. If you both feel like you have the urge to want to try something new, talk to each other about it. Do it together. Get each other's opinion on it. Don't just go, oh, I'm going to open my marriage. No. That's something you both need to sit down and communicate. And then you could both figure out together whether you want to allow that to happen. And if you both do, and you have mutual friends that are married couples that want to do the same, you could talk to them about it. But don't do it on your own, because that will destroy the marriage if there's secrets and hiding. But if you're having issues, see a counselor first. Seek marriage counseling first. That's all I gotta say about that.
Yep. Pretty much, you said anything that's actually the most important stuff. I think there's nothing more to say.
And always remember, stay active, people. Go to the gym. I know later tonight I might go hit up the gym, get a workout in, lift some weights. Even though my body's sore, I'm still gonna go to the gym. If you're sore, that means you did it right. So if you lift weights and you're feeling sore, that means you did it right. If you're not feeling sore, that means you did it wrong. So just remember, like, cause yesterday morning I went to the gym at like 5 in the morning. Like, I felt great. Like, I did an hour of cardio, did power sets of doing deadlifts. Then I did some squats. Then I finished up with 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups. And then left and went home, shaved, showered, and was ready to go. Like, I literally felt like $1 million after doing that. Like, so I'm gonna start heading to the gym a lot more. So there may be some times where I may stream later than I was. So I'm gonna give everyone a heads up. My stream time's probably gonna change, because after work I might start going to the gym after work every day. Because I want to take care of myself. I want to do self-care. I want to take care of my spirit, my soul, spiritually, because I felt so much better after I worked out. I didn't feel so depressed. I didn't feel anxiety or any of that. So, like, I'm ready to burn all that to the ground and be done with dealing with depression and anxiety. So that's why I'm going to go to the gym every single day after work. Because to me, that I'm going to be more happy, more energetic, more ready to go and tackle the world on things, and maybe one day find that right woman that I can call my wife at one day in the near future. And that's the reason why, like, I hope this might even motivate some of y'all to start going to the gym every day, work out, start eating healthy, start dieting properly. But that's all I gotta say for today. Anything else you want to add, Flame?
I mean, I agree with everything what you said. Definitely, it's something to think about. You know. So, I think this is pretty much it that I have to say.
Alright, on that note, y'all be good, and me and Flame will catch you again next Saturday.